Now, for example, your client tells you that I have committed this offense. That doesn't give you a reason for refusing to defend him. People ask that question, that why? Why does a lawyer have to defend a person?
Hey lovely people, welcome to Judicial Reforms in India. Of lately, I have observed that many lawyers have started supporting me in my pursuit for judicial reforms. And that made me wonder, why should a lawyer be supporting me, especially when in every video that I make on judicial reforms, I claim that judiciary has become the cash cow for lawyers. Apart from the judges that we talk about, we also talk about the lawyers and how they are the beneficiaries of this entire loopholes in the judiciary system. So of course, this made me wonder, why are lawyers supporting me? And I did some research, and the research told me that we have around 20 lakh lawyers in India, of which many of them in lakhs, many of them could be 20-30% or even more. They have meager earnings. They have a very substandard, I would say, lifestyle. They don't even have a standard lifestyle. The quality of living is really low. Now the question is, on one hand, we have lawyers who at the drop of the hat end up making 15-20 lakh rupees per hearing. And on the other hand, we have lawyers in lakhs who, even if you put together their annual income, that might not even come to a monthly income of a successful lawyer. Can you see the yawning gap? And this yawning gap is something, for me, which is a burning desire within a section of a lawyer community who feel they have been left out, they have not been given the kind of respect and justice which they should be. And that is where I felt that the lawyers community, a certain section of the lawyers community, because they are feeling left out, is why they also want judicial reforms in this country. You would be shocked to know that during COVID times, there were so many of lawyers who could not survive even for 2 to 3 months. And that is when their various bar association came in and they started accumulating money, they started collecting money, collecting donations, and they started giving these lawyers who did not have a 2-3 month backup also 5,000 rupees a month. So that is unfortunately the big divide between the successful lawyers and the lawyers who are struggling in lakhs. Now the question is, why would a lawyer struggle when the law of the land is same? Why would a client hire someone successful as Kapil Sibal, as Chidambaram, as XYZ, as Manu Singhvi? And why, on the other hand, the other lawyers would just be fence sitters? So when I went deeper into it, I realized this is why these big chunk of lawyers, a big section of lawyers are suffering. Point number one. Today, the higher courts in the country, High Court and the Supreme Court, expects the lawyers to argue their matter in English. Now, this is a Hindi-speaking nation. This nation has so many languages. And when a lawyer who has had a background of Hindi-speaking, education of Hindi-speaking, and he's asked to present his case in the court in English, of course he will fumble. Of course he will not be able to express his point of view despite having a good knowledge about law. So that is one of the things wherein of lately, I think last year, one of the judges in the Supreme Court said, I think it was ex-CJI or the present CJI, he said that we want people in court, the lawyers, to communicate in English and present their case in English. We are not comfortable with Hindi. Now, this is ridiculous. So, just because a person does not speak a particular language is why he has to suffer in profession. So that is one of the major reasons where you will see a lot of lawyers in tier 2, tier 3 towns or smaller towns, they end up just confining themselves to those areas because neither do they have confidence presenting themselves in the higher court and Supreme Court because they realize that they don't have the command over the language which the court expects them to. Now my question is the judiciary wanting an English speaking competition? Do they want debates in English? Is it an English chorus competition? Or is it about law? Is it about getting justice? And we want reform that any lawyer should be able to express himself in any language. The onus of understanding is on judges, whether it is to interpreters or whatever it may be. But you just cannot push aside a lawyer just because his English is weak. Secondly, there are another large chunk of lawyers who wish to be very candid, very upfront, very honest, and do not believe in manipulation of evidences or of presenting their case. And since they don't indulge in these unscrupulous activities, these lawyers are not able to win cases because cases per se are based on manipulation, corruption, how well you know someone, what best you can do, how much you can bribe. And these are the people who want to stand for justice. And just because they are honest is why they are not successful in their careers. I wish you would have listened to Ram Jethmalani someday, and he said that I don't care a person is guilty or not.
Now, for example, your client tells you that I have committed this offense. That doesn't give you a reason for refusing to defend him. People ask that question, that why? Why does a lawyer have to defend a person who tells him that I am guilty? The reason that a lawyer can very legitimately advance is that it is society which has made a rule that nobody should be convicted or punished without adequate convincing evidence. When you argue a case for a person who has told you in private that he has committed the offense, what you are telling the court is not, you are not swearing on oath that I know that my client is innocent. You don't have to do anything of that. That's professional misconduct. What you are telling the court is that the evidence on which my client is being convicted does not satisfy the standard which you have laid down for everybody. You point out the defects in the evidence and leave it to the judge to decide.
My job is to defend him, but there are a lot of lawyers who will not take up cases where they know their client or would-be client is guilty because they don't believe in manipulation and misguiding courts, lying in courts. And that is one of the reasons that these people are left behind. The third aspect is that these lawyers who are coming from tier 2, tier 3 towns, they don't know these big judges, the judges sitting in the high courts and the Supreme Court. Because these judges, they would have done their law from institutions which would be in the heart of the cities, very well-known institution, and hence these people coming from smaller towns have not studied with them. On the other hand, you would see a lot of successful lawyers would know the judges, they would have been friends with the judges since the college days. So their access, their connect, their connivance with the judges is much larger. As far as the smaller lawyers are concerned, they are not taken at times seriously by the courts Why? Because obviously they don't know them, they can't present themselves well, like I have said before. So now the question is, even if these lawyers from smaller towns or unsuccessful lawyers, if they have these aspirations, how do they somehow manage to run their families? So what they do is they become assistant to senior lawyers, they become the ambassadors of senior lawyers, they would just work like their PAs, they would run around for them, they would make connections, so they become a stooge. And that is where these people, they are able to get some amount of income because of the senior lawyers, apart from their own profession that they would do, that they are still able to survive. And if they are able to canvass well for the senior lawyers, if they are able to spread a mouth around their community why people and lawyers should support the senior lawyer, they would end up getting small cases. Small cases means that, okay, you can go as a proxy lawyer into such and such case and just tell the judge that the senior lawyer is in another case and he would be coming shortly, so we want a small adjournment. So things like that these people end up doing. So now what is my point? My point is it right people coming from same profession, but just because they don't have those kind of connect, those kind of command over English, they don't have that, I would say, British hangover culture, is why should they be left out? Is that right? Well, I don't think so. So we need, when we talk about reforms, so we need reforms wherein these lakhs of lawyers who end up just surviving be given justice, reforms for them, so that no judge has the liberty to comment on their presentation or their language, or that they, since they don't know the judge, they just can be put aside like nobody. If you like this video, kindly share it far and wide. Thank you so much.